Well, hello there, my name is Mr. Bilal Ahmed and I am going to explain a Netflix original series named Martha Went to the Lake with Jonas, Magnus, Franziska, and Bartis. At the lake, Martha and Jonas are sitting together, when he finds a pendant with an engraving of St. Christopher imprinted on it. A short while later, he suddenly remembers that he promised to teach Grandma Ines how to use her new tablet, and hurriedly leaves. Shortly after, Jonas, who has traveled from 1921, sits next to Martha. She is surprised he has returned so soon and says he seems different. Jonas tells her they are perfect for each other, and they kiss. He tearfully stares at the family photo where Ines wasn't torn out. He then goes up to explore his old bedroom. Jonas glares at his father, standing at the doorway, alive and well. With a bucket of emotions, he embraces Michael tightly in his arms. Michael acted cheerful towards him, and Jonas tells him that he knows everything. Michael was confused, until Jonas performed ultimate fist bump. Michael was emotionally blown back by his identity reveal, so he cries into Jonas' shoulder. At the dinner table, Jonas reveals that he is from the future. Michael asks as to why he traveled. His son responds that he doesn't want him to do it. Michael was confused to Jonas' request, who kept saying that he should have known something was wrong. Jonas tearfully tells him not to hang himself in his attic art studio, which completely shocks Michael. Jonas shows him his suicide letter, and continues to beg him not to kill himself, since it would initiate an endless cycle. Jonas implores him to promise. Jonas asks him how exactly he traveled back in time, and Michael reveals that it was him who took him to the cave in the first place. He narrates that he always wondered why Jonas did that to him, but eventually forgot about the mystery like a dream. Jonas clarified that he never did that. He returns to his house, goes upstairs to his father's partially destroyed studio and places one end of a rope over the rafter, the other end around his neck, steps onto a stool, kicks it away, and tries to hang himself. While he's struggling, young Noah enters, takes out a knife and cuts the end of the rope, causing Jonas to fall to the ground. He loosens the rope from Jonas' neck. Jonas gasps and gets up. He looks at Noah and asks him what he is doing there, if he is following him. Noah tells him that Adam promised him that the apocalypse must happen so that all of them will be saved. Jonas cannot die. He hands Jonas a gun and places it in his hand. Jonas aims it at his head and pulls the trigger several times, but it does not fire. Noah takes the gun and aims it at a wall. It fires. He tells Jonas he can't take his own life because his oldest self already exists. Time won't permit it. No matter what he tries, a force will always stop him. Elizabeth and he have found the passage. Jonas must keep his promise. Noah takes Jonas to the caves to show him the portal he and Elizabeth have uncovered, which is now sealed. Noah tells him the portal will open up again and then Adam will lead him to paradise. Noah tells Jonas that Adam told him they will become friends before he betrays him. Article concerning the death of her father Egon on the 26th of June 1987, the next day. Her assistant comes in to remind her that the French delegation is waiting for their meeting, but Claudia tells her to reschedule and leaves. She goes to visit Egon. He tells her it is a long time since she visited him. He tells her he is proud of all her accomplishments, and that her mother would be too. Claudia becomes emotional. She gets up to leave, telling him he should move in with her and Regina, so he would not be so alone, suggesting tomorrow. This surprises Egon, who says she is acting as though he is inches from death. Claudia goes to visit Bernd Doppler at his palatial home and says she has checked the data and found it to be normal. So what really happened to cause the incident at the power plant? He shoves a binder across the table to her, saying he knew she would refuse to let it go. The binder contains the full results. She looks through it and says the values make no sense. He replies that the tests always came back the same, matching calculations of Engelert, Grout and Higgs in 1964. Claudia knows it as the God particle, the particle that gives all things the mass they have. She says this is sensational, such a discovery should be made available to everyone. Doppler, however, tells her that it is sometimes better to let sleeping dogs lie. The nuclear plant is his only legacy. He wants his name and the plant kept secret, at least until his death. Claudia meets with a technician in her office, and asks him to test a sample in secret. He asks what it is, and she replies that if it is what she thinks it is, it will change their understanding of the world forever. At home alone, Hannah pulls out the box with Alexander's gun and passport. She takes the gun and aims it at her chin. Just then she hears the door opening with a key. The stranger enters. She asks him how he has a key. He tells her it's his key. He shows her the scar he has from falling off the bike she and his father gave him for his 8th birthday. He tells her they saw each other 33 years ago, episode Sic Mundus Creatus Est. He tells her he is Jonas, even though he is much older. They tearfully embrace. He explains that he exists infinitely. She asks where her Jonas is, and he replies that he is stuck in the future, because he had attempted to destroy the time portal, but only succeeded in closing it. He tells her he has come to put an end to everything. Martha heads off on her own to Hannah's house. While Hannah isn't there, the adult Jonas, the stranger, lets her in. Martha asks who he is. She looks at him strangely and he asks if she is scared of him. She says she is experiencing déjà vu. As he did previously, he responds, a glitch in the Matrix. He asks whether she found the St. Christopher medal he left for her. She then realizes that he is Jonas, sitting at the kitchen table. He starts to explain his absence. Martha then says it all makes sense now. She takes his hand in hers and touches his forearm and face. They are interrupted by Katharina, who breaks into the house, searching for Hannah. On seeing Martha and Jonas together, she pulls them apart and asks Martha whether she knows who this man is, the son of her brother, her nephew. She tells Jonas to keep his dirty hands off her and takes Martha away. Charlotte returns to the clockmaker's shop and finds a picture of her as a child with tan horse and the blueprints to the time machine. The door opens. Noah enters and introduces himself. Charlotte says she knows who he is and that he has killed the children. He tells her he hopes she will one day understand that he is only acting to try to put a stop to everything once and for all, so she won't be taken from him again like her mother was. He shows a photo of him with her as a baby, saying she had been premature but had a strong will to live. He tells her that her mother had taken the picture and he had promised to bring Charlotte back. He had been searching for her but she had been there the whole time, and Adam knew. He says the apocalypse is going to happen in 2 days, and he knows that he must end Adam so that everyone can live, not just those in the bunker. Charlotte asks him who her mother was. Noah says she loved her very much, and still loves her, then leaves, causing Charlotte to burst into tears. Bartis receives a visit from Hannah, accompanied by a young girl, who Bartis realizes is Silja, recognizing a scar across her face. She tells him she is looking for Jonas. Bartis tells her he has changed, as traveling has taken its toll on him. He takes her to his study. Jonas is now scarred like Adam. Hannah introduces his sister. He asks how she found him. She tells him an old woman named Eva showed up at the door and said that he needed her. She tells him he is right, she ruined everything but now she is here. He tells Bartis to get a room ready. Later he enters their room while they are sleeping. He tells Hannah that Silja is not right here, that they are both in the wrong place. He grabs Hannah and smothers her to death. He goes to Silja and picks her up. Eva tells Martha that everybody must die, so they can be reborn correctly. Eva holds Martha's pregnant belly and tells her she carries both worlds inside of her. Her son will be the origin, who gives everybody their lives in the 2 worlds. The 3 unknowns enter, and Eva tells her that he has waited a long time for her. The youngest version walks up to Martha and hugs her. Claudia tells Adam that while he wants to destroy his son and the knot, Eva wants him to live and maintain the knot. She will do anything she can to keep her son alive. Everything he and Eva have done has been because of love, and yet this has brought nothing but pain and suffering. They have done this because they can't let go of the deepest desire. The two worlds should never have existed. He and Eva should never have existed. Eva tells Martha that if she wants Jonas to live, she has to do what has always been done. Adam tells Jonas he does not have much time left. He must save the alternate world Martha. Since he realized it was not only him who had to change everything, but he now knew that Martha had to as well, because they are two parts of the same whole and, together, must return to the origin world. What they know is a drop, what they do not know is an ocean. Today is the day of the apocalypse in her world. For a moment, time will stand still. He must get Martha before Magnus and Franziska before everything happens again. Adam hands Jonas the orb and tells him this is their last hope. Just as the older Magnus and Franziska stop Martha riding behind Bartis on a bike to convince her to go with them, Jonas jumps at Martha with Adam's orb activated and disappears with her. Before you leave, I wanna tell you there is another part coming. You will know that everything is connected, and remember that the beginning is the end and end is the beginning.